Hi, my name is Phil, and I have some useful materials for you, so it will help you to improve your level of English. Uh, that's a girl I have been working with, and she lives in Moscow, so let's work with some of those materials. I work in an office, I work as a purchasing manager, I work 5 days a week, I have good relationships with my colleagues. It takes around 1 hour to go from home to my office. I use public transport. I like dancing. I go to a dancing school 2 times a week. I don't have animals at home. I don't like public transport in Moscow. I don't like when it's crowded in the morning. I wake up at 8 a.m., I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I take a shower, I put on my clothes, I go to work. I would like to find a good job. I have studied logistics in Saratov. I like this profession. I didn't like to live in Saratov. Moscow is much better for me. I have been living in Moscow for 5 years. I go to sleep pretty early. I go to sleep around 11 p.m. I like to read books. I read books in Russian. I read books in English. I have good relationships with my family. I talk with my mother every day on the phone. I have an older brother. He works in a bank. He is a manager. We are friends with my mother. She was ready that I will go to Moscow someday. I like to go to beautiful places in Moscow, but I don't go there very often. I don't like to cook at home. I like to order food. My favorite application is Samokat. My mother has a cat. I like both cats and dogs. I like to watch movies in the cinema theater on weekends. It costs around 800 rubles for a ticket. I like to spend time at home. I like to chill. I listen to music. I want to visit Japan in the future. This is my big dream. I would like to go to Italy. I would like to go to Norway. I would like to visit Germany. I have been abroad only once. I was in Turkey. I have two friends. One girl lives in Moscow, another one lives in Taliati. I have studied in school in Taliati. I have studied at university in Saratov. I'm fine. Today was a good day. I was working today. I finished work at 6 p.m. There were many people in the subway today. I live in an apartment. I have been living in this apartment for 2.5 years. That was difficult to find this apartment for such a price. The owners of this place don't raise the price of this apartment for me. My friends have to pay more for the same apartment every year. This is a big problem. I have a driver license. I know how to drive. I don't have a car. Actually, I don't need a car in Moscow. I don't have a dacha in Moscow. I work near Vdenha. I work in an office. I go there 5 days a week. I like my job. It takes around 1 hour to go from home to my office. I get late from time to time. Nobody cares about that. I want to immigrate in the future. I want to travel around the world before that. I will communicate with people from the Russian community. I will rent an apartment. I will buy an apartment. I will work. I will go to cafes. I will go to a fitness center. I will go swimming. I will meet with my friends. I want to learn English. I need this language for work. I want to find a good job. I want to make money. I want to work from home. I want to work remotely. I want to work in an office. I go dancing 2 times a week. It takes 5 minutes to go from home to my dancing school. It helps me to relax. I have an active lifestyle. I'm a young person. I have lots of energy. I read books in Russian. I read books before going to sleep. I like to spend time at home. I like to watch YouTube in my free time. I like to watch something entertaining. I follow many channels. I have many subscriptions. I watch YouTube on my laptop. I use VPN while watching YouTube. I like to eat fast food. Usually I go to Burger King. I have a Burger King near my building. It takes around 10 minutes to go there. I don't like McDonald's. I don't like burgers there. I don't go there after rebranding. My favorite burger at McDonald's is Big Mac. I don't like how they cook there. I don't like how they make French fries. I'm a girl. I don't eat much. I eat 2 3 times a day. I eat small portions of food. I don't like to cook. I rarely cook at home. I order prepared food in Smakat. I like to eat while watching a movie. I watch movies online. I like to spend my time at home. I live in an apartment. This is a small apartment. I don't have animals at home. I live in a one-room apartment. I don't have a balcony in my apartment. I have a driver's license. I don't have a car. I don't need this now. It's difficult to find a parking space near my building. It's hard to find a parking space near my office. It's easier for me to live without a car. I use public transport. I go to some places on foot. I will go to Georgia in June. That will be my first time there. I will go to Batumi. I will try Georgian kitchen there. I will go swimming. I will go sunbathing. That will be the season there. I have been abroad once. I have visited Turkey. I have traveled there with my friends. I don't like when people come to my apartment. I don't like to have guests. I prefer to spend time by myself. It helps me to restore my energy. I don't like to cook at home. I order food online. I buy groceries online. I work as a purchasing manager. I talk with our partners on the phone. I make contracts. There are around 10 people who work in the same room. I work from 9 to 6, 5 days a week. I eat lunch at work. We go to a local canteen. It costs 280 rubles for a meal. Sometimes I go there alone and sometimes I go there with my colleagues. I live in a small apartment. I have noisy neighbors. Sometimes I have problems with them. They drink alcohol and make lots of noise. They listen to loud music. I used to live in a dormitory. That's not a big problem for me. I know what uncomfortable means. I have friends who live in other countries. I have a friend who lives in Hungary. He studies there. He likes it there. I would like to visit Europe. I would like to keep my Russian citizenship. I don't want to get a passport of another country. I want to improve my English. I need this for work. I want to get a good job. I want to work from home. I want to be a high-skilled specialist. I want to make good money. There are no jobs in my hometown. I live in Moscow. That is the biggest city in Russia. I have a few friends who live in Moscow. I like to spend time with my friends. I go outside almost every day. I like to spend time outside. I live in an apartment. I live alone. I don't want to live with anybody. I used to live in a dormitory before. I don't want to live with people I don't care about. I used to live in a hostel. This is not comfortable. Today is Friday. I worked today. I woke up at 7 a.m. I washed my face. I brushed my teeth. I took a shower. I drank a cup of coffee. I went to work. I like to buy coffee to go. Usually I pay around 300 rubles for a cup of coffee. This is a normal price in Moscow. I put on cosmetics before going outside. I buy professional cosmetics online. I have an expensive shampoo. I use a conditioner for my hair. I order cosmetics on Wildberries. Sometimes I buy cosmetics in Zolotoy Yabloko. Sometimes I go to museums. I want to see something new. Usually I go there with my friends. I pay around 500 rubles for a ticket. I use public transport in order to get there. I like metro in Moscow. I live in a small apartment. I sleep on a couch. I don't like to cook. I like to watch movies in my free time. I watch YouTube as well. I communicate with my friends on Telegram. I like to listen to music. I want to get a promotion at work. I want to get a 10% raise to my salary. I understand that I will have more work to do. I want to get more money for that. I will talk with my boss about that. I have a friend who studies in Hungary. He likes to study there. He likes to live in Europe. He lives in an apartment. He wants to stay in Europe. He has a few friends. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Germany. I want to visit France. I want to explore Italy. It would be interesting to visit Spain. I like to travel. I have an international passport. I have enough money so I can travel. I buy airplane tickets online. I'm not afraid of flying on planes. Usually I buy economy seats. I take my luggage with me while traveling. You can take with you up to 23 kilograms of luggage. I take my clothes with me. I take cosmetics. I take a few pair of shoes. I want to study English. I want to improve my level of English. I want to understand English better. I want to travel around the world. I want to communicate with people in English. I want to make new friends. I want to find a good job. I want to read books in English. I want to watch YouTube videos in English. I want to watch movies in English. I have a shopping center near the place where I live. I can watch sorry, you can watch a movie there, you can buy some clothes there, you can buy cosmetics there, you can go grocery shopping there. It takes around 10 minutes to go from home to that shopping center. I go there on foot. I wear braces. I go to a dentist once a month. I have paid around 200,000 rubles for this service. I feel comfortable wearing braces. I don't feel shy because of that. Sometimes food stuck in my teeth. I have to brush my teeth a few times a day. Educated people know how to speak English. You can go anywhere in the world and communicate with people in English. You will use simple English. You can go to Thailand, India, Indonesia, China. I went to a shopping center last week. I bought 2 t-shirts. I went there with my friend. We went for a walk after that. I had problems with mobile internet last week. I couldn't order a taxi. I couldn't use public transport. I like dancing. I go to a dancing school 2 times a week. It helps me to relax. It helps me to stay in a good shape. The studio is not far from my home. I have studied at university in Saratov. I don't want to go there. I don't want to live there. I have good memories about my university years. That was fun. I used to live in a dormitory. There were many people. I've never felt alone there. I've never wanted to be alone. I have a few friends in Moscow. I like to communicate with people. I have been living in Moscow for 5 years. I have worked in different places in Moscow. I have worked in a hostel. I have worked at Burger King. I have worked in an office. I have lived with different people. I have lived in a hostel. Right now, I don't want to live with anybody. I want to live by myself. I have been living in my apartment for 2.5 years. That was difficult at the beginning. I didn't have money. I didn't have any friends in Moscow. I was ready to do any kind of work. I have worked in different places. I don't want to go back to my hometown. I have nothing to do there. I have paid money for my higher education when I was studying in Saratov. I've paid around 70,000 rubles per year. I have studied there for 4 years. I have a few friends who live in Saratov. I like to travel. I'm ready to travel alone. There are applications where you can meet people while traveling. Actually, I don't like to meet random people. I will order a bank card from Kazakhstan. I will pay with cash. This is expensive to have children in Korea. You need to have a place to live. You need to have a car. You need to pay for your children's education. You need to buy food, clothes, electronics, and so on. Today was a difficult day at work. I was working really hard. I made many calls. I communicated with many people. I finished to work at 6 p.m. I work in an office. I work 5 days a week. I go to work by public transport. I like banking system in Russia. I have a bank card. I can pay with my card everywhere. I pay with my phone. I pay with cash. I was born in Irkutsk Oblast. I was born in Siberia. I would like to go there. I don't have friends there. I have relatives who live in Irkutsk. I don't have a car. I don't use car sharing services in Moscow. I'm afraid of driving in Moscow. I don't want to get in a car crash. Actually, I don't need a car in Moscow. Also, this is pretty expensive to have a car. I have a bachelor's degree in logistics. I don't want to continue my education. It is completely useless for me. I don't want to study in Russia. I would like to get a master's degree abroad. I would like to study in another country. I feel skeptical about online courses. They don't provide quality education. This is difficult to find a job after finishing an online course. Knowledge you get in online courses doesn't work in real life. You have to get more real work experience. You have to learn on your own. You have to use AI while learning. You have to communicate with people who work in that field. I would like to visit Korea. I like Korean kitchen. I like Korean cuisine. I like that Korean use different sauces and spices. I like Korean barbecue. I like Korean culture. I like to watch Korean dramas. I like to listen to Korean K-pop. I like animals. I want to get a dog. My favorite breed is Spaniel. I will take my dog for a walk in the morning. I will take my dog for a walk in the evening. I will give food and water to my dog. I will play with my dog. I will pet my dog. I have an active lifestyle. I go to a dancing studio. I go running 2 or 3 times a week. I want to stay in a good shape. I want to have enough money. I want to have enough energy during the day. Today is Wednesday. Today was a difficult day at work. I finished the work earlier today. I ate lunch at work. I talked with my colleagues. I talked with my coworkers. I made a few calls. I talked with my boss. I have a smartphone. I have an Android phone. Samsung is my favorite brand. I have a good camera on my phone. It works fast. It has 128 gigabytes of memory. I have many videos and photos on my phone. I like to take photos. I like to film videos. I use different apps on my phone. I have an international passport. It will be valid for 10 years. My international passport expires in 2035. I can travel wherever I want. I want to travel around the world. I want to get more knowledge about different cultures. I want to meet new people. I want to work remotely. I have a good smartphone. I really like my phone. I bought it last year. I paid around 70,000 rubles for that. That was the top model last year. I've never had an iPhone. I prefer to use Android phones. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I use that application every day. I spend at least 1 hour on TikTok every day. Sometimes I spend 2, 3, 4 hours on TikTok. I use AI for learning English. I communicate with a chatbot. I want to improve my level of English. I want to travel. I need English for work. I want to meet new people in the future. I want to train my memory. I learned how to express my ideas in English. Learning English is good for my brain. I want to have more opportunities in my life. I want to stay smart throughout my life. Maybe I will marry a guy from another country. Maybe I will immigrate in the future. Perhaps I will work for an international company in the future. Possibly I will change my profession. Potentially I will make more money if I know English. I like my profession. I work as a purchasing manager. I make more money now. I perform different tasks at work. I work in an office. I go there 5 days a week. I communicate with colleagues. I correspond with different companies by phone. Do you feel bored at work? Is it difficult for you to wake up in the morning? What is your morning routine? When do you normally wake up? Do you use public transport to go to work? Do you take a taxi once in a while? How much money do you pay for public transport? Is it expensive to get a taxi in Moscow? How often do you take a taxi? Where do you like to go for a walk in Moscow? How often do you go to the center of city? What do you do in your free time? Do you like to spend time at home? What do you do before going to sleep? When do you usually go to sleep? Do you have moments when you have insomnia? How often do you have bad dreams? I have an office job. I work in an office. I work 5 days a week. I'm not ready to work on weekends. I'm not ready to work without vacation. I rent an apartment in Moscow. I don't have money to buy an apartment. This is almost impossible. I don't know how much money you have to make to buy an apartment in Moscow. I don't want to take a mortgage. I have been living in this apartment for 2.5 years. I will go to Batumi in 2 weeks. I will take cash with me in Russian rubles. I will take luggage with me. I will take clothes, shoes, and cosmetics. I will go swimming in Batumi. I will play table tennis in Batumi. I will go to cafes and restaurants. I will go for a walk there. I will go to the mountains. I communicate with people who speak English. I train my speaking skills. I chat with an AI bot. I write down useful phrases. I watch English lessons on YouTube. I work in an office. We celebrate birthdays there. Usually we have a small party at the end of the week. We used to drink alcohol during such celebrations, but it is prohibited now. We can't do this anymore. Usually we order pizza or sushi for such occasions. I want to work from home in the future. I want to travel around the world. I want to visit different countries. I want to meet new people. I want to get new experience in my life. I would like to find out more about different cultures. I'm going to Batumi this month. I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. I write down things I have to remember. I train my memory. I study new words. I translate from Russian to English. I translate from English to Russian. I watch movies in English. I watch reels on Instagram in English. I like to draw in my free time. I go running 3 times a week. I watch TV series online. I like to spend my time at home. I don't have animals at home. I live in Moscow. I live in an apartment. I live near Medvedkovo metro station. I like to live in Moscow. I like to spend time outside. I like to spend time with my friends. I like to go for a walk. I like to watch movies, I like to watch TV series, I watch TikToks, I like to communicate with friends online. I use Telegram for that. I have been watching YouTube for 2 years. I watch movies in Russian. I like Russian comedies. My favorite movie is Gorka. I watch movies in English. I download movies from rootwrecker.org. I watch movies in English with English subtitles. I watch videos on YouTube. I went running this Monday. After that, I got back home. I took a shower. I ate dinner. I watched YouTube. I went to sleep around 11 p.m. I don't like to eat sweets. I don't like to eat desserts. I don't eat chocolate. I go to cafes from time to time. I go to restaurants a few times a year. I like to watch YouTube in my free time. For example, I like to watch Mr. Beast YouTube channel. I like to watch TikToks. Also, I do sports at home. I like to go running as well. There is a park near the place where I live. I like to go for a walk when it's raining. I take an umbrella with me. I speak English when other people are listening to me. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I improve my speaking skills. I watch YouTube in English. I have a good smartphone. I have an Android phone. I like Samsung. I use my smartphone every day. I use Instagram. I use VK. I have a good camera on my smartphone. I like to take photos. I film videos. I need to take a few pair of shoes. I need to take some clothes. I take cosmetics with me. I take beauty products with me. I will go to Batumi for 2 weeks. Maybe I will go to Tbilisi for a few days. I will go there by train. My mother knows that I will go to Georgia. I work in an office. I work 5 days a week. I work from 9 to 6. I get to work by public transport. I live in Moscow. I rent an apartment in Moscow. There were many problems with my apartment. I have been living in this apartment for 2.5 years. I live on the 4th floor. There were cockroaches in my apartment. There was a mouse in my apartment. I use Telegram on a daily basis. I go to a dancing studio a few times a week. I don't want to be a dancing instructor. I would like to be a fitness instructor. I would like to work in a fitness center on weekends. I live in Moscow. I don't see many foreigners in Moscow. It seldom happens when I see people from Europe in Moscow. I like public transport in Moscow. I like banking system in Russia. You can pay with a smile. You can pay wirelessly with a card. Do you drink coffee in the morning? Do you have breakfast at home or at work? Do you have moments when you don't want to go to work? Do you usually look forward to the weekends? I don't read the news. I don't watch TV. I like to watch YouTube. I use Instagram. I have a profile on VK. I like to use social media. I like to travel. I prefer to travel by plane. I want to visit different countries. I will buy economy tickets. I don't have friends who want to buy an apartment in Moscow. This is really expensive. For most newcomers, this is impossible to make this purchase. This is really unprofitable to take a mortgage. You will pay so much money in interest to a bank. I like to dance. It helps me to relax. It helps me to stay in a good shape. I eat 3 times a day. I eat breakfast in the morning. I eat lunch in the afternoon. I eat dinner in the evening. I eat small portions of food. I don't eat much. I would like to eat food from Eurospar if there was one near my building. I would like to buy sushi there. There are many scammers in Moscow. It's difficult to rent an apartment in Moscow without paying a commission to a real estate agent. Commission could be up to 100% of your monthly rent. There are many people who want to fuck you up. There are many companies which are basically a scam. I like to study languages. I want to study English. I don't want to study Chinese. Tell me about other professions you like. Do you want to work in an office or from home? Are you ready to work on weekends? Are you ready to work without going on vacation? Do you want to make more money? If I need cash, I will go to an ATM. I will use an international card. I will pay commission for the withdrawal. I watch Naruto in English. I can understand around 90% of what they're saying. I want to work remotely. I want to travel around the world. I want to explore different countries. I want to meet new people. I get tired after work. I watch series and YouTube after work. The European Union has tightened the rules for getting a visa for Russians. It will be more difficult to go to Europe now. I don't want to go to Georgia again. I have nothing to do there. There are other countries I would like to visit. Today was a usual day. Nothing special happened. I woke up around 7 a.m. I went to the bathroom. I washed my face. I brushed my teeth. I took a shower. I put on makeup. I got dressed. I went to work. I ate lunch during my break. I finished work at 5 p.m. I went back home. I work 5 days a week. I don't know when I will go on vacation. I haven't planned it yet. It is difficult for me to wake up in the morning. My job is boring. Usually I don't want to go there, but I have to make money. I have to pay for rent, food, clothes, and public transport. I use public transport in Moscow. I pay around 3,000 rubles per month. It's comfortable, but there are too many people in the morning. It's really crowded. I can use the subway, a trolley bus, a tram, or a bus. Sometimes I take a taxi. I take a taxi once or twice a month. Usually I take a taxi when I go to my orthodontist. It takes around 15 minutes to go there by taxi. It takes around 1 hour to get there by public transport. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.